A married couple, Dawn and Alice, are taking shelter from the zombie apocalypse with a small group of other survivors in a remote cabin. Alice is still deeply worried about their children, who had gone abroad on a school trip before the outbreak started. That evening, the group, consisting of Dawn, Alice, Sally, Jacob, Karen, and Jeff, share a quiet dinner. During the meal, Karen chooses to save her portion for her boyfriend, who disappeared 5 days earlier. Jacob, however, challenges her hope, suggesting that the boyfriend is either dead or has abandoned them. Their tense dinner is interrupted by the sound of a young boy knocking at the door. Alice is determined to help him, despite the danger. Dawn arms himself with a crowbar for protection and cautiously opens the door, finding the boy alone. He brings the child inside immediately. While the others gather around the boy, Karen secretly steps outside, clinging to the hope that her boyfriend might return. Tragically, instead of her boyfriend, the zombie grabs Karen and bites her. Jacob pulls her back inside, unaware that she's already infected. She quickly turns and almost bites him. Dawn acts fast, striking zombie Karen in the head to save Jacob. Chaos erupts as more zombies break through the cabin windows. Alice and the boy flee upstairs, while Jeff, Sally, and Jacob retreat to the shed. Jeff sacrifices himself by holding the door shut to buy them time. Inside the cabin, Dawn manages to kill a zombie but drops his weapon and rushes upstairs to find his wife. Back at the shed, the zombies break in and attack Jeff. Sally is left in shock, frozen with grief. Jacob urges her to escape, reaching out his hand, but the zombies reach her first. With no choice, Jacob closes the attic door to block them out. Upstairs in the house, Dawn finally finds Alice in a bedroom, but she refuses to leave. She's not going without the boy. She sees the boy hiding in the bathroom and runs to him. Moments later, a zombie breaks the door, standing between Alice and Dawn. Alice screams for help, but Dawn becomes terrified and instead shuts the bathroom door, leaving his wife to fight on her own. Dawn climbs out the window and escapes. Alice, still alive, sees him through the window, but Dawn keeps running as she gets attacked by the zombie. Dawn keeps running toward the river, chased by a horde of zombies. He reaches the dock where Jacob is preparing a boat. Dawn manages to get on the boat, but Jacob falls into the water. Dawn tries to pull him up, but the zombie grabs Jacob first and drags him down. Moments later, Jacob resurfaces, now turned into a zombie. Seeing this, Dawn kicks him away and manages to escape. His face shows deep sadness and fear as he looks back at the window where he last saw his wife. 28 weeks later, after a virus called rage strikes, a military aid from the United States named NATO helps England to recover after the zombies die from starvation. A sniper named Doyle is assigned to watch over the area while joking with his helicopter buddy, Flynn. A plane arrives at the airport, bringing back British citizens who escaped the outbreak. A medical officer named Scarlett sees the arrival of the people and gets angry when she finds out that there are 2 children among them. The children are Tammy and Andy. When Scarlett examines Andy, she notices that his eyes have 2 different colors, just like his mother's. Tammy and Andy are then brought to District 1, the first quarantine zone declared safe after the outbreak. When they arrive, Tammy and Andy are happy to reunite with their father, Don. Meanwhile, Scarlett insists to her superior that they are not ready to take in minors. Hearing this, a general named Stone assures her that the virus will not return, and even if it does, they can handle it. Back in District 1, Don takes his children for a walk around the area. He now works as a district caretaker and is given a comfortable place for his family, although they will be moved to a new house in a few months. Don explains that they can't go back to their old home because of a lack of security. This makes Andy ask about their mother. Don nervously lies, saying he saw Alice in critical condition because he was too late to save her. Tammy tells him they're just glad their dad survived. That night, Doyle watches the people in District 1 through his sniper scope. When he sees the Harris family, he feels happy that their operation helps reunite families. He also sees Scarlett, looking anxious in her office. In his sleep, Andy has a nightmare about his mother turning into a zombie. After waking up, he tells Tammy that he is afraid of forgetting their mom's face. Tammy comforts him and tells him not to worry. The next day, Tammy and Andy secretly sneak out of the safe zone. Doyle sees them and tells his team to bring them back. Tammy and Andy run down the street, finally feeling free. They find a motorcycle outside a pizza restaurant and decide to use it to move faster. Tammy enters and takes the keys from a skeleton's body. They ride the motorcycle and arrive at their old house. There, they find a hidden spare key. Don realizes his children are missing from District 1. Tammy and Andy enter their house and take a photo of their mother, Alice. They also collect personal items and clothes from their old bedroom. After a while, Andy calls out to Tammy, but she doesn't hear. Andy hears the creaking sound of a door in the attic and goes to check it. Inside, he sees rotten bowls of food and drawings on the wall. He notices movement and curiously approaches it. It turns out to be his mother, Alice. Excited to see his mom again, Andy hugs her, but Alice hugs him tighter. Soldiers arrive at the house. Andy manages to escape and runs outside, with Tammy following him. The soldiers stop them and enter the house. Back in District 1, Alice gets sprayed with decontamination fluid, then tied to a hospital bed, surrounded by soldiers. Scarlett, who is there, asks how she survives for so long, but Alice doesn't answer. Scarlett rolls up her sleeve to take a blood sample and notices a bite mark on Alice's hand. Alice begs to see her children. Meanwhile, Don becomes shocked to hear that his wife and children are alive. In the holding room, Don asks his children why they left, and Tammy tells him to tell the truth about Alice. Don lies again, saying he doesn't know what happened but insisting they should be happy Alice is still alive. After testing Alice's blood, Scarlett confirms that Alice is infected but doesn't show symptoms. She tells General Stone that Alice might have a natural immunity to the virus, but she is still a carrier who can infect others. However, General Stone decides to execute Alice, even though she pleads that studying her might lead to a cure. At that moment, Don enters the isolation room and, with a sorrowful voice, apologizes to Alice for leaving her at the cottage. Alice assures him that she still loves him. They kiss, and automatically, Don gets infected by the virus. Don begins to transform into a zombie and vomits blood. Alice panics and tries to escape from her restraints, but she is trapped, and Zombie Don kills her. After that, Zombie Don starts biting the soldiers he sees. General Stone witnesses the incident, which prompts him to declare a state of emergency to prevent the outbreak. Upon hearing the order, the soldiers begin locking down District 1. In the holding room, a soldier reassures Tammy and Andy that everything will be okay, then steps out to check the situation. But when he returns, he is already turned into a zombie. Suddenly, the zombie gets headshot by Scarlett, who then takes both of them away. At the same time, the residents of District 1 are being relocated to a safe place. Scarlett tries to get priority security clearance for Tammy and Andy, but the soldiers refuse. In the chaos, Andy gets pushed by the crowd and becomes separated from Tammy and Scarlett. The residents are then taken to a garage for safety, but they panic when the soldiers lock them all in, along with all the other sector areas. In that garage, Andy finds a quiet corner to rest, just as the power gets cut off, causing the residents to become terrified in the darkness. There, Andy sees an emergency door start to shake, which is pointed out by a man behind him with a flashlight. Behind the door is Zombie Don, who starts banging on it. Andy is shocked to see that his father is turned into a zombie. He runs away, while Zombie Don infects the man with the flashlight. Zombie Don then lunges at the next person, along with the now zombified flashlight man. Panic spreads among the residents as more of them turn into zombies. Andy manages to climb over people and vehicles, then crawls into an air duct. Inside, he covers his ears to avoid hearing the people's screams. Out of fear, the residents manage to break open the locked door and scatter out of the building. The soldiers open fire on the zombies, but the confusion makes it hard to tell who is a zombie and who is still human. In a panic, Scarlett and Tammy make it out of the building. Seeing how bad the situation gets, General Stone orders his troops to shoot everyone, whether they're zombies or humans. Moments later, Scarlett finds a radio and tells the military to locate and evacuate Andy. Andy is seen successfully crawling out of the air vent. Doyle receives an order from the general to shoot everyone, but he questions whether it's right to kill innocent people. Meanwhile, other snipers begin shooting everyone, making the chaos even worse. After a while, Andy hears someone named Sam calling him to the warehouse. Suddenly, a zombie runs toward Andy, but Doyle shoots the zombie in the head, giving Andy a chance to escape. Unable to bring himself to kill innocent people, Doyle leaves his sniper position. Inside the warehouse, Andy walks in and finds Scarlett and Tammy, who are also there. Andy tells Tammy that their father is turned into a zombie, which breaks her heart. Sam wonders why the military is shooting everyone. Scarlett explains that the soldiers are ordered to eliminate everything if they can't contain the outbreak. They discuss how to escape from both the zombies and the military. Shortly after, Doyle arrives and tells them they can avoid the zombies at night, but not the snipers. Scarlett asks why he abandoned his position. Doyle explains that he wants to escape the madness and offers to help the survivors. Doyle then guides Scarlett, Tammy, Andy, and the others out of the building. He receives a message from Flynn, who tells him that the Air Force has been ordered to bomb District 1 to contain the outbreak. Flynn tells him to meet at a park. The group runs down the street but suddenly comes under fire from a sniper, who shoots at several survivors. The others hide in an alley, but Scarlett gets shot in the leg and quickly bandages it. Doyle realizes the sniper is panicking, making his aim inaccurate. He asks Sam to help distract the sniper by revealing his location, but Sam is too scared and refuses. Hearing that, Andy runs into the open, making himself a decoy. Don then manages to shoot the sniper. The group climbs over a wall and sees the Air Force arriving at District 1. They head into a tunnel to stay safe. In the helicopter, Flynn sees District 1 getting bombed, with both zombies and humans being burned alive. Zombie Don survives by hiding behind a wall, watching a photo of his wife and kids burn in front of him. Doyle sees fire entering the tunnel and urges everyone to run out before it explodes. After the bombing, General Stone listens to the bombing report, and a CCTV camera shows some zombies who survive and begin breaking through the barricades. Morning comes, and the survivors rest at the park, which is the meeting place with Flynn. Andy starts wondering if their mother is still alive, but Tammy believes she's already dead. Meanwhile, Doyle confesses to Scarlett that he almost shot Andy, but he couldn't bring himself to shoot a child, so he left his post. Hearing that, Scarlett tells him that Andy and Tammy's mother has immunity to the zombie virus, and she believes that the siblings might carry the same genetic immunity. She emphasizes that their lives are more important than their own. Moments later, Flynn contacts Doyle via radio, telling him that the zombies are approaching. Doyle tries to escape with the others, but they are already too late. The zombies are near. Doyle tells them to hide in the grass. The helicopter arrives, and Doyle asks Flynn to evacuate Andy and Tammy across the English Channel, but Flynn refuses to take anyone else. As the zombies get closer, Sam panics and grabs the helicopter's landing gear, begging Flynn to take him. Flynn flies toward the zombies out of confusion. He aims his helicopter blades at them, slicing the zombies apart, while the others run from the remaining ones. With zombie blood on his face, Sam falls from the helicopter. Flynn flies away from the scene and tells Doyle to head to the stadium, but also says to leave the other survivors behind. Doyle's group reaches the park gate, but Andy trips. Doyle turns around and fires at the zombies to save him. Then he contacts Flynn again, asking him to ignore the emergency order and save the others too. More zombies arrive and chase them. Doyle's group keeps running until they are stopped by a deadly gas released at the end of the road. Realizing the danger, they get into a car and seal the vents, covering their noses. The zombies who try to break the windows are finally killed by the gas. Scarlett tries to start the car but fails. Doyle sees soldiers using flamethrowers to burn the zombies and tells Scarlett to take the kids to the stadium before stepping out of the car. Doyle runs to the back of the car and pushes it. When the soldiers get closer, he tells Scarlett to start the car, and finally, the engine starts while he gets hit by the soldier's flamethrower. After that, Scarlett drives the two kids toward the stadium, avoiding the streets filled with toxic gas. Suddenly, a helicopter starts shooting at them, so Scarlett drives the car toward the subway station to avoid it. After leaving the car, she grabs Doyle's sniper rifle and leads the way. When they reach a dark area, Scarlett looks through the sniper scope using night vision to help the kids walk. As they keep walking down the escalator, both kids slip and fall to the bottom, out of Scarlett's sight. Following the sounds, Scarlett finds Tammy, but suddenly, Zombie Don appears and ambushes her. He grabs the rifle and smashes it into her head, and finally, she dies. When things calm down again, Tammy finds the sniper rifle, then looks through the scope and sees Scarlett's lifeless body. On the platform, Andy searches for the others, but Zombie Don shows up. Andy freezes as Don pins him to the floor and bites him. Not long after that, Tammy finds them, and Zombie Don charges at her. Tammy no longer sees her father in him, so she shoots him in the head, and finally, he dies. Crying, Tammy walks over to her brother. When Andy believes he will turn, he runs away from her. He falls on the train tracks, allowing Tammy to reach him. She helps him stand and checks his left eye, which turns red like Alice's, indicating that Andy is immune to the virus. The two of them finally arrive at the stadium, where Flynn waits for them. Flynn, seeing them, points a gun and asks where Doyle is. Tammy shields her brother from sight and tells Flynn that only the two of them are left now. Flynn then agrees to help them escape. They fly away, looking at the destruction across England caused by the virus, and they fly across the English Channel. 28 days later in France, Flynn's helicopter appears abandoned, and neither he nor the others are seen again. The movie ends with many zombies running out of a tunnel, and finally, they arrive in Paris, signaling that the zombie outbreak has started to spread across Europe. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss the latest recaps. Thanks for watching and wish you good health.